He is in the middle of the cave, water cave. Go below.
Deep! Stay awake! Rescue is coming!
Towering at over 3,700 meters, Mount Rinjani is one of Indonesia's most breathtaking volcanoes. But for Juliana Marins, a young traveler from Brazil, this majestic peak became the site of a devastating tragedy that captured international attention. What really happened that day on the mountain? Why did help come too late? And could she have been saved? This is the full story. The tragic fall of Juliana Marins. Juliana de Souza Pereira Marins was 26. Born in Niterói, Brazil, she was a vibrant publicist and an avid solo traveler. In February 2025, she set off on a journey across Southeast Asia, capturing beauty, sharing joy, and chasing adventure. And additional information. It is known that Juliana has nearsightedness, or myopia, with -5 vision. On June 21, 2025, Juliana decided to climb Mount Rinjani. Well, Mount Rinjani is indeed one of the popular tourist destinations for adventurers. But it should also be noted that Mount Rinjani is the second highest peak in Indonesia, and the climb to the top takes about 2 to 4 days, and requires physical fitness, adequate equipment, and professional guidance. Even according to experienced mountaineers, the local government has warned that this is a dangerous terrain because the terrain is unstable and the weather is not always predictable. However, Juliana still went and joined a group of climbers on the Samara Nunggal hiking trail, one of the steepest and least maintained Rinjani hiking routes. Her goal was clear: to reach the top of the volcano and watch the sunrise from its peak. But as the climb became more intense, Juliana began to feel tired. Her breathing was getting heavier. She told her group that she needed to stop and rest. They agreed to continue the journey and she would follow later. That was the last time they saw her alive. The climbers arrived at the summit and they had been waiting for Juliana. But after waiting for a long time, Juliana still did not come. Finally, the guide told the others that we should return to the location where Juliana was resting. They went down to the same point, but it turned out that Juliana could not be found there either. Well, from that point, the guide said that there was a flashlight below the ravine that led to Lake Sagara Anak, and when he looked closely, he heard Juliana's voice asking for help. Left behind and likely disoriented, Juliana slipped from the trail. She fell hundreds of meters, some reports say nearly 500 to 600 meters, into a narrow ravine covered in dense forest and jagged rocks. At first, no one knew exactly where she had gone. Panic set in. Calls were made. Local authorities and SAR teams were contacted. The search had begun. Rescue teams moved quickly, but the conditions were brutal. The area was covered in dense fog, with steep cliffs and shifting terrain. Even helicopters struggled to get a visual. But then, a drone picked up movement. A heat signature. A figure was spotted lying still, but alive, on a narrow ledge. It was Juliana. The images were heartbreaking. She was there. She was breathing, but time was running out. Why wasn't she rescued immediately? Why did it take 4 long days to bring her back? Officials cited impossible terrain, weather conditions, lack of air access, and poor visibility. But others, including her family, claimed negligence. Volunteers, not official SAR teams, were reportedly the first to reach her. Video clips show a local guide named Agam Rinjani rappelling down with minimal gear. He became a national hero. But the question lingered. Could Juliana have been saved sooner? Impact and reaction in Brazil. This incident truly captured the attention of netizens on social media, especially in Brazil. Juliana's story made headlines in Brazil. Millions of people followed the search for her through social media, her family's posts, and live TV broadcasts. Juliana's family also provided updates on her condition via Instagram account at Resgate Juliana Marins, where they continued to urge for an expedited evacuation. Juliana's story also trended heavily in Brazil, with the family's Instagram account reaching 1.6 million followers. In their posts, they also emphasized that Juliana had been alone, cold, and hungry for over 50 hours. This case is a major issue in Brazil. Even their foreign minister and first lady, Rosângela Lula da Silva, have expressed concern and diplomatic and political support for Juliana's case. This ultimately prompted Brazilian netizens to flood the Instagram accounts of officials, including Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, demanding immediate action to rescue Juliana. Comments even emerged questioning Indonesia's safety for foreign tourists. For example, Juliana was stranded for days without help. Is this the standard of care for tourists in Indonesia? Or other comments. Indonesia can't be trusted to visit. Or Indonesia doesn't care about tourists. Others criticized Indonesia for using drones to record, but not to deliver water or food over a distance of only 300 meters. Furthermore, Brazilian netizens were also furious, accusing Indonesia of being slow to rescue her, as another climber's drone video had circulated, showing Juliana still alive moments after her fall. On June 24th, after nearly 4 days in the ravine, her lifeless body was recovered. The world mourned, Brazil grieved, her friends and followers flooded social media with tributes. An autopsy was later performed in Bali. It showed she had died of internal injuries, massive trauma to the chest and abdomen. Experts estimated she survived for less than 20 minutes after the fall. She never died from cold or neglect, they said. She died from the fall. And yet, the image of her lying there for days haunts many to this day. Her family demanded answers. They accused the guides and local rescue authorities of unpreparedness and miscommunication. In response, the Indonesian government promised improvements: clearer safety guidelines, better signage on dangerous trails, stricter permits, and more training for emergency teams. Juliana's tragedy became a turning point, a young woman's death that could push for better protection of countless others. Before she fell, Juliana sent her mom a message. "I love you, Mom." Those were her last words. Our condolences. Rest in peace, Juliana. Thank you for watching. This is Dark Point, where shadows speak the truth. Subscribe for more stories that were never meant to be forgotten.